episode of Can Do Conversations. I'm Cheryl Williams.
I'm CJ Williams. Thank you for being here.
We're excited to have you guys here for another jam-packed episode. If you haven't tuned in before, we keep our episodes short and sweet. We like to cover a specific topic and then keep you guys moving on. Sometimes we dive in really deep into conversations, but we go deep on one particular topic. So each episode is very linear. We cover a specific thing, and then the next episode brings up something else for you. So
that's right. It's okay to go into more detail.
Yep. And we like to, give you guys sometimes a high level view of things. And then sometimes, we really dig in and go, further in. And today is going to be one of those kind of high level versus, going into the nitty gritty. We'll probably have another episode where we dig deeper into each one of these particular topics.
Just break it down a little more.
Right. Yes. So today's topic is what we like to call Foundational 5. And Foundational 5 is pretty much how we
live our life.
It is. It's how we live our life, and we like to call it like the pillars, right? We believe that everything is built on a strong and solid foundation, and then you can build up from there.
Correct.
So if you don't have, a strong foundation to build on, things can tumble and fall and crumble or get cracks.
Right. You don't want them weak in one area. You want to be strong in all areas of our Foundational 5.
Yep. And so we're going to kind of go over what each of those are. There are 5 pillars. And I want you to visualize, when you're building a house, if you build a house with 2 pillars, but then you forget the other sides, it's going to
collapse.
It's going to tumble, right? And so some people are very strong in certain aspects, but a lot of times it's the well-roundedness that is lacking, right?
Yes.
And so they're either, very good with their business or their finances, but they're lacking in their health. Or maybe they're, really strong in their relationships, but they don't, have a concept of how to, work on their mind or their body. And so we say, you got to run on all cylinders.
Yes.
You've got to
finances also. When your finances aren't up to par where you want them, there's ways of changing that. Mm-hmm. And what are the steps going to be to make sure you change that?
Mm-hmm. And so basically we start off with, we believe, and there's an order in which we have these laid out. Yes. And the order that we have, and we're going to go ahead and just introduce them to you now, and then we'll kind of go into what each of those are a little bit more for you. The first one is focus, right? Focus for us is anything to do with your mind. It's what you're putting in your mind. It's what you're consuming. So maybe you read, or you journal, or you meditate, or
what are you watching? What are your kids watching daily?
And what are you putting into your mind? There's the positives and the negatives, right? And so you have to take control of that aspect. The next one is your fitness or your body.
Right. Are you working out daily? Do you get your exercise? What are you putting in your mouth? It all matters.
Every little component of those things. Are you getting in your water? Are you getting in your steps?
Are you getting your sleep in?
Are you getting in your sleep? Are you getting in, the correct amount of food that you need that's specific for you and your body? Right. And so that's really when we say, fitness, body, those are all things that are part of that.
As a whole.
Of that category. The next one is relationships. And we talk about, family. So, we have focus, fitness. The next one is family. And in that are your relationships, both with yourself and with others. You have a relationship with yourself, but you also have a relationship with
your friends, your family, your kids. It's all together in the whole.
Business associates, it could be coworkers, like all of that. Those are all relationships that you have, and so that's when we, on that family category, is focused in on each of those. The next one, you have your focus, your fitness, your family. So the fourth one is your finances, right? Your money, your business, or your job, or your investments. Right. Where is that at? And
are you happy with that?
Right. And some people are saying, well, that should probably be the first one. And the reason we have it laid out in the order that we do is because
It's for a purpose.
if you don't have your mind right, you're not going to be able to get your body right. If you don't have your mind and your body right, your relationships are going to be affected by that, right? If you don't have your mind and your body and your relationships in a way, you could have all the money in the world, but it doesn't really matter because you're falling short in all of those areas and aspects.
Yeah, it already collapsed.
So,
lopsided.
you know, it is, I mean, yes, money makes the world go round. Money is important. It's integral, you know, to right up there with, you know, air. However, you've got to work on getting all of this in alignment, firing on all cylinders in these particular things. And money is important. However, if you don't have those other things the way they need to be, you know, a byproduct of that is, you know, the money situation, the finances probably isn't going to be where it needs to be either.
And the final one is freedom. It all comes down the list. And then once you're free and you have your foundation correct, you need to be freedom. Have your freedom right there.
Yep. And freedom, it means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. And
It's going to be different for everybody.
Really, when we encompass freedom, that means because you've taken care of the things that you need to in those other pillars, you have freedom in your mind. You have freedom in your body. You have freedom in your relationships. You have freedom in your finances. You have freedom to be the person that you want to be because you've cultivated and molded that person. You have the freedom to, you know, go and do the things that you want to do. You have the freedom to have the relationships that you want to have.
Right.
You have
Live life to the fullest.
You have freedom to create the body that you envision, right? And so when you have your freedom component, then it's all working synergistically together. And that ultimately is what everyone's after, is freedom in your mind, body, relationships, and money. And so we believe that that is the center pillar, because when you have the other four outer pillars and they're all coming together, they come together to form that freedom that so many people are striving to get to, but they don't quite reach it, right?
Yes, we talk about it all the time. We talk about it daily. Then we even have meetings every Sunday to talk about what we're going to do for the week.
What are we going to do?
And each pillar.
And each of these, you know, each pillar of Foundational 5, you have to make an effort. You have to figure out what are you doing, and each and every one of those on a weekly basis, right?
That's why we love talk, plan, and take action, because you're going to talk about it and then plan on it and then take the action daily.
Right. And we like to schedule out, you know, you have your year view, then you need to have your quarterly view, right? Or your 90-day plan. And from there, you need to have a plan or a blueprint or something put together in each of those areas so that you have something to work towards on a weekly basis. When you chunk it down into bite-sized pieces, you're able to get there. So if you're like, okay, I want to read more. Well, that's just an ambiguous statement, right? What does that mean, read more? Compared to who?
And read what?
What is it you're reading? What are you putting in your mind? How long do you want to read for? What is the end result that you're wanting to get? We work backwards, right? We talk about it. We put together that plan, and then you take action on that. You want to consume more water. Okay, well, how much water do you want to consume? And then how are you going to, if you're having no water right now, anything is more than what you're doing, right?
Yes,
so
double that.
What is it that you're wanting to get to? You know, if you're wanting to work on your relationships, maybe you're wanting to find a spouse, or maybe you're wanting to, you know, have better relationships. What does that mean to you, right? Each person is different.
Yes, it's going to be different for everybody. Just like what if you have your wife or your boyfriend or girlfriend, do you do date nights? What do you do to build that relationship and make sure it's stronger? Sometimes you could just take your daughter out. Sometimes take your son out, just to spend that quality time with each other.
And because you're cultivating those things because you put attention on it, right?
Yes, and building those relationships.
You decided that was something that you wanted to work on. So you don't just say it's something you want to do, right? You don't just talk about it. Then you put together, okay, well, what is the plan I'm going to do? And then how am I taking consistent actions on a daily, weekly, monthly basis? Because the one and done doesn't help, right? If you do something one time,
it's not going to help anything.
That's not really going to work. It's about the consistency. It's about the longevity. It's about continually putting in the reps, continually putting in the attention and the focus that brings the end result. It's not, I did it this today, I'm going to do it maybe next week, next year.
It doesn't work that way.
That doesn't work, right?
No.
And so you have to identify where are you and what do you want? Who do you want to become? What do you want all areas and aspects of your life to look like? And then you've got to move forward in that.
Right. Just like in relationships, you have to watch out who's around you at all times, because they could be bringing you down and you don't even realize it until you're already down what they are. You're together, but you want to rise above that and watch out who you bring around yourself and your family.
Because you do have to guard yourself from all of these negative influences. They're everywhere, right? And so what you allow into your mind and into your body and into your environment becomes who you become, right? And so you've got to surround yourself with, and we've got to give you, commend you for being here and listening and joining in on this conversation. Because you are choosing where to spend your time. You are choosing who to listen to. You are choosing what it is that you're wanting to do, instead of just haphazardly going through it and just saying, okay, well, this is how life is, or, oh, this is what I'm doing. It's like, no, you have to do a pattern interrupt. You have to make a change. You have to come at a fork in the road and say, okay, am I going this way? Am I going to continue going the way I've been going to continue to get the results I'm getting? Or am I going to go this way, make a change, make a pivot, and then continually make those changes along the way so that you're improving yourself, that you're leveling up yourself, your life. Then you're able to level up your family, you level up your community. And that's when we're all working to level up, we're all working to be better. That is a vibrational change. That is an energy shift. And that's how change happens on a bigger scale than just with ourselves.
Well, the main thing you have to do also is ask yourself, what do you want? In each pillar, where do I want to go? What dreams do I have? What am I going to accomplish with my family? What are the goals that we have and the plans that we have? So you can rise above that instead of just assuming one thing. Oh, I want to drink more water. Oh, I want to lose a couple pounds. No. How many pounds do you want to lose? How much are you going to drink? Are you going to drink that gallon a day? Well, if you don't drink any water, start with half a gallon and do most of it in the morning, so you're not doing it at night and going to the bathroom all the time like I used to do.
And, that's where we talk about this conversation is this is specific and unique to each person, right? What we're doing is not what you're going to be doing.
Nope.
What you're doing is not what someone else is going to be doing. And that's what makes us all unique individuals, because we all have our own perspective. We all have our own thoughts, and we all have our own ideas of what we want or where we're going, or
what are you striving for?
Where are you going and what do you want? And a lot of times people are just going through the motions. They don't know where they're going.
They're not living life.
Well, they're
living their lives. You're living your life, but you don't have any.
But almost
plans.
Going through the motions and doing it. It's like, well, this is what I did yesterday.
This is what I do every day.
This is what I did last week. This is what I'm going to do this week, right?
Yeah, it's time to party on the weekends and drink and do things that you shouldn't be doing.
And you've got to do a time audit of where is your time going? What is it that you're doing? Who are you associating with? What are the things that you're putting into your mind and into your body and into your relationships and into your finances? And audit that so you can say, okay, do I like that? If you like it and you're happy with it, God bless.
Or do you feel
going.
like shit because you did do that?
Or are you saying, you know what? I've been at this level. I've played this game over and over and over. It's no longer exciting for me.
Years into it.
Right.
It's years and years.
Ready to level up, take it to the next level, make a change, create, a shift, and look at things differently for where you're wanting to go. Because if you continue to do what you have done, you're going to continue to get the same results that you've gotten, right? And even maybe you're really fit and you're like, okay, that aspect I'm not, but maybe you want to tweak it or change it, or maybe you want to work on a specific, part of your fitness,
or maybe even start teaching other people also because you're already in shape.
Or maybe you're in shape, but are you flexible, right? So maybe that's an area that you can work on.
You're so big you can't brush your teeth.
And so, all areas, even if you feel like you're at a certain level, there's always something more to go after. And that's a challenge. A lot of people is they reach where they thought they could go, and then it's like, well, that's all I got, right? It's like, no, there's levels to this game, right? Just like in any video game you play, you hit a certain level. Okay, you've learned some things. Now take that and move to the next level.
Just
and
like
take
stamina.
Yeah.
Just like your stamina. You gotta go more at a time. That's what we're working on, and we're constantly changing. That's what I need help in, constantly changing. What am I going to do to build that up so I'm not out of breath like all the time?
This is where getting to know yourself, getting to know your strengths
and your weaknesses,
and identifying those not from a critical point of view, but from a substantial place of, okay, this is where I'm at. These are the things I'm really good at. These are the things that I could get better at, or I can improve, or I could change to level up. And then when you're at a different perspective, you can look at things differently and say, okay, well, now I'm here. What do I like? What do I want to change? And a lot of times when you're starting out, you have this idea of what you're wanting, but as you get closer to where you're wanting to go, you're like, you know what? It's not exactly what I want. I think I want more of this over here, or less of this over here, or I want to tweak this and change this. And that's perfectly fine, right? At least you got to start somewhere. And when you start getting closer and identifying, then you're able to say, okay, you know what? I actually want to do this now. Let's make it a little more specific. Let's make it a little more, challenging. Or, I liked that, but I need to add this, or I need to take away this. And so you're always going through and taking your foundational 5, taking your pillars, but you're consistently
tweaking and changing and molding it into something you really want.
And leveling up. And every time that you look at something and say, okay, I did that, I'm doing that really well. Maybe you're on cruise control on a certain thing. And if you're on cruise control, that's when you need to change it, right? Because you're no longer striving for more. You're no longer putting the pedal to the metal. You're no longer challenging yourself because you're like, I got that, I'm good, let's just cruise.
Let's just live.
Right? But if you're not moving forward and challenging yourself and progressing, you're actually moving backwards. Because there's other people on the path that are continuing to strive, that are continuing to go. And so the balance is kind of like the scales are, you're here, but they're continuing to go up here. So it's tipping, right? There's a scale of everything. And so if you're not progressing in that one area of your life, then other areas might be affected by that as well. And that's where that comfortability, right? That's where that consistency in doing the same thing over and over again can be a hindrance as well, because now you're just consistent being consistent. Well, if you're not consistent being consistent, moving the bar and raising it and continuing to level up, then you're kind of on a hamster wheel at a higher level, right?
And then once you're there, other things you're missing out on. You're not even touching all the other pillars, because you're comfortable on what you're doing, but then everything else is lacking because your attention's on something else, and you're on cruise control going this way, but all the pillars are crumbling around you because you're not focused.
And that's why we say you've got to constantly take notice with yourself. Where are you? Where's your mindset? How are we doing? Like on a level, a scale from, 0 to 10, where am I at? How am I working on this? What could I do better at? And so you're basically playing a game with yourself. This is you against you. And you're the only one that knows, are you playing full out? Are you going all in? Are you giving your all? Are you doing your best? Are you half-assing it, right? Or are you, kind of putting a little bit over here and moving a little bit over there, and you're doing a lot of this, but we're not actually getting any momentum going, right?
Just like you're eating healthy, but at night you're in the closet eating cookies. It messes up everything you've been doing for all week.
And the same thing on the weekends, right? If you're Monday through Friday afternoon, we'll say.
It's party time.
You're doing well. I mean, you're hitting those macros.
You're doing everything.
You're saying no to those things you normally say yes
fats.
to. You're going through, and it's great. But then, the weekend comes, and
you saw those cookies the kids got.
It's like, oh, I need to go drink. I want to go party. I want to go hang out. I'm going to eat like crap. I'm going to eat a bunch of fried food. I'm going to eat a bunch of sugar. I'm going to eat a bunch of shit. And then you do that Friday night. and then, you feel like crap the next day, but then you do it Saturday night, and then you repent and say, please forgive me on Sunday.
And then you start blowing up a little bit.
Right? And then you continue to feel like crap because now you're hungover, or you weren't being consistent in the other areas, so they're starting to falter, and so you're getting a little, teetering on these things.
Then you're at home eating shit.
And then you got a headache, so then you don't feel like doing your reading, you don't feel like doing your meditating. You, your body is bloated because you've done all this, crap to yourself, and then you say, well, Monday, I'm going to do better. So then you get back on the train, but you're really not yourself on Monday because you're detoxing from the weekend and the crap that you just put into yourself, right? And you're filling yourself back up. So then by Tuesday, Wednesday, we start rolling
then you're
again.
In a groove.
Just to have the same cycle happen again come Friday afternoon.
Can't wait for the weekend.
Right?
Here we go.
And everybody is living for the weekend. It's like, why don't you live to live every day,
Every day.
Why do we have to live for the weekend? What's happening to the rest of your life in which you feel like you've got to go out and be a totally different person on the weekend than you are during the weekday?
That's bullshit right there.
Every single day of the week is a day, right? The sun comes up and the sun goes down, right? Things happen every single day. And so as a society, we've made it and programmed that, hey, you've got to work for the man, put in your 9 to 5. And then, gosh darn it, you're done come, Friday afternoon, going into Friday evening. And you get to live your own life the way you want to live it through the weekend. And then just to go back to the grind on Monday. What kind of fucking life is that? Like,
that's bull.
How is that a life to strive for? And it's not. And that's why people check out. And that's why people medicate with all kinds of stuff. And that's why people aren't living in reality.
And they're not happy.
That's what it comes down to.
You're not happy.
And people are doing all of these things and just going through the motions and, yay, it's a Friday and we got all these things to look forward to.
2:30 somewhere.
Right? And it's like all of these things that we've been programmed to believe since we were young. We need to chuck them in the, garbage where they belong, and you start deciding who you are and what you think and the beliefs that you have and the sayings you want to repeat and the thoughts that you want to do and the actions that you put out there, because now you're taking control and you're not just going through the motions.
Every aspect.
But what's going to happen is when you start leveling up, all these people that you used to hang out with and all those people that you used to party with or all those people that you used to go out with on Friday and Saturday nights, they're going to start saying, what's happening to you? Come back down. And you're going to have to make a choice to say no.
Yes.
That's not me anymore. That's not who I am.
And also, some of the people might start leveling up also because they see that what you're doing. By saying, no, I'm not going to go out this weekend. And you're constantly working out. You're looking good. You're hanging with your family. You're doing a trip.
You're making more money. You're putting off a better energy. And sometimes you got to leave people behind, let them go. Other times they're going to try to pull you down and get you back into the easy, the comfortable, right? The comfort zone.
The checking out zone.
That everybody is used to. And if you're the one leveling up, then they can be from down here looking up and saying, you know what? Do I want that or do I not? And it's on them to make a decision and make a choice.
To come
Who
with you
am
or
I?
without you.
And do I want to go along, right? And so your actions speak louder than your words. By your actions, people know you. And so if you're just quietly going about doing your thing, you're putting on social media what you're doing and who you are, they're going to see that. And then it's up to them to make a choice if they're going to continue on or if they're going to join you, right? And that's how you start building out your community. Getting involved, having a conversation with other like-minded people.
Yeah, they're going to want to know what you're doing.
That's what Can Do Family is about. It's about other families who are sick and tired of being sick and tired and are ready to say, we can do this. And that is our motto. We can do it, and so can you, because you can. But you have to want to. You have to put in the work, and you have to get comfortable being uncomfortable.
And you will be uncomfortable in every aspect until you start honing in on what you really want and then striving and making the steps for each one.
And here's the kicker though. You're always going to be uncomfortable because no matter what level you're at, you're leveling up from that level. And so you're going to constantly put yourself into uncomfortable situations because that's where you learn and that's where you grow. And so to think that, once I get to this level, I'm going to be comfortable here. It's like, no. You're going to constantly be leveling up. You're going to be constantly progressing to be your best self. And you're going to constantly get uncomfortable.
And that's okay.
That's what you want.
That's the fun part.
It is, because then you're like, wow, you know, when I was down here doing this, I thought I was doing everything, but now look at me. Look at me up here. How am I resonating differently? How is my
Look at
energy
the stack of
putting
books
out?
you already read.
Look at the, you know, when you start putting it like day in and day out, and you don't fall off track, and you don't get back into it. And guess what? Sometimes you might, right? Maybe you do fall off track. Hey,
and drink a soda.
Right? Some things come up. Then it's up to you to say, okay, is that who I am? Do you let one day turn into two, and two turn into four, and four turn into six, and what you do, half the year is gone? Or do you say, you know what? No.
Nope, I won't do that again.
I'm getting back on track, right? I'm getting focused. When? Not tomorrow, not next week, right now. The moment that you identify that you're off track, the faster you get back on track, again, it eliminates the time. You're condensing the time down. So when you do have those, okay, well, you know what? Get back on. Get back on.
Well, that's what the kids are for too.
Right.
Because the kids notice what you're doing. So when you grab for something, oh, no, you can't have that. Or you're going to get your green check.
Right. And it's not even a can't. It's that now they are holding you accountable to what you said you were going to do, right?
Correct.
Where you said you're, and again,
life, they're leveling up also.
Life is about choices, right? Life is all choices. And the choice that you make today reflects tomorrow and the next day and the next day. And so you've got to start making better choices and start living your life in the present, not in the past, not in the future.
Not dwelling at all.
Right here, right now, because this is what you can control. You can control the controllables. You can control what you do. You can control what you say. You can control how you act. You can control the actions that you put out. And that's how you make a difference. Getting uncomfortable and controlling you, because you cannot control anybody else.
Nope. Only
you're in
your
charge
family.
of you.
You can guide your family in that right direction, and they'll follow you.
And be an example. And so today's message is for you, get uncomfortable. Get out of doing what you're used to be doing and start going for more. Start working on leveling up all areas and aspects of your life so that you have a solid foundation to continue to level up and rise and grow with. And then you'll start seeing a different result.
And you'll notice a different person.
And that's what you want.
Every day.
You should
look in the mirror and you'll see a different person, the person who is striving to be better.
And you shouldn't be the same person you were today as you were last week or last month or last year, and certainly not 5 or 10 years ago, right? And so if you're continuing to live your glory days, and those glory days are long gone, you know, way back, and that's all you have to work with, we need to start creating more stories, more memories, more things for you to be able to talk about of who you are here and now, because you're not the same person you were. So it's time to level up. It's time to get uncomfortable. It's time to have those hard conversations and start doing the work. And that's where the conversation starts.
Yes, and the family around you also.
And a lot of times, if you've said you're going to do,
be hard.
You're going to do things over and over again, and you haven't, they might not believe you. So guess what? Shut your mouth.
And just do the work.
Do the work. And let your work represent who you are. Let your actions shine. Let you and who you are and who you're becoming be the voice for you.
Yep.
Without saying a word.
That was beautiful.
So, without any further words, we are going to close out today's episode. We want to thank you for listening and joining.
Yes, thank you so much.
We are here for you guys. We want to build a large, thriving can-do community. So please, share this out with people that you think
reach out to us.
This can help.
Any questions, we're here for you.
Leave us a comment, give us a review, 5 stars. We love that. That helps get the word and spread the message out, and that's really what we're here for. So we appreciate you guys sharing a part of your day with us, and we will talk to you guys again soon. Bye guys. Love you.